Shoot, today is the last day of Yallwest, and today there's a lot less things to do, so I'm probably gonna leave early and there's not much that things to do, but I'm still excited. Today there's a keynote with Milla and Tahereh Mafi, and also gonna hopefully get some books signed. I'm trying to get most of the Shatter Me series signed by Tahereh Mafi, and then also my copy of The Wrath and the Dawn. And then I'm going to go to a panel with Renee too, and another panel who I forget the authors are on it, but it's like about like difficult topics in YA. Sounds really interesting. And then that's all.
The sun was raining. What a first month.
So we're waiting for the Tahereh Mafi and Milla keynote. I can't say her name. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. Oh my god, we were walking over here and we just saw them and like I was dying. I was like, oh my god. And we got so much swag. We went around all the booths.
First time I saw Marie, I just thought, wow, sweetest human being ever. And that was 5 years ago, and it was proven true. I hadn't even spoken to her, and I just thought, wow, really incredible person.
So, like, I honestly thought that the names that you see on books were, like, just brands, you know? Like Zara. And, like, that's what I thought it was. It never occurred to me that they were
Calvin Klein. The first book I ever wrote, this is like truly, it was a story about a girl with magical eyelashes. The girl with the magical eyelashes teams up with the guy who's got really long earlobes and the girl with the like constantly dilating eyes. And, you know, like, what are you gonna do with those powers?
Personally, like when I was first starting out and sending out query letters and stuff to agents, I mean, I took rejection pretty personally, and I thought it was like, oh my god, they hate me as a person. I'm a horrible person. I should just stop doing this because they hate me so much. And then I realized that okay, it's a business, and you know, my writing was not good enough. It doesn't mean that I'm not a good person. It's just that you know, my writing is not a good person. I would be a horrible lawyer. I would be the one who's like, Your Honor, I object. He's like, no, sit down. I'm like, okay.
Furthermore, it's middle grade novels, so it's really more about. There's a lot of heart, but it's not about the kissing. And I always say that it's funny because it's the most romantic book I've ever written because it was the book I wrote after I met my husband. It's like me being like the happiest person in the world and just sort of writing this extremely colorful book that was just like, yay!
So we're standing in line for Renee. Oh my god. And we also got arcs for Furthermore.
It's
I'm
really
dead.
pretty.
It's so beautiful.
Just the artwork is amazing.
I know. And I actually can get this signed. I'm like dying. This is like amazing. I can't wait.
All of my fairy tale cast, and I'm going to throw them into this world. And I start writing the book. I'm about 3/4 of the way done, and then my friends were like, oh my gosh, you watched the Once Upon a Time series. I'm like, what is it? It sounds just like your book. I'm like, no, stop my idea. And so I was kind of like bitter and sad about it. And I was like, okay. So what I decided to do is I refused to watch the Once Upon a Time series until I was done with the book.
I find, even in something, because I can get inspiration from the weirdest things. I can get inspiration from like eavesdropping on someone's conversation in the Starbucks line, which sounds creepy, but this is something. You know, you'll hear them having some sort of discussion. You'll want to incorporate the, like, almost like the real world beats to the way their dialogue progressive.
The reason you don't read any of them is the 5-star reviews will give you an inflated sense of self-importance. And the 1-star reviews will make you want to slit your wrists. There are only 2 people that you really need to please when you're turning in your book. You and your editor.
I think it's the first time ever in English is the complete Grimm's fairy tales translated from German. I just got the book at home. I'm actually going to read it with my youngest kid, which I know is going to be horrible. She loves scary stuff. We're going to do it.
Oh God,
but
she's going to be traumatized for life.
We'll probably get through one story and then I'll, you know, child services will show up.
We all would not take any modern items. He would sneak up on me while I was asleep with a baseball bat and beat me to death.
So violent. He probably just bring something like Angry Bird there, like something that was like stress relief.
Nikolai is one of the enchanters, and he really likes mechanical things. That's what his magic is. So he would take like the entire friggin' internet. That would be awesome. Because they're in 1825. And I'm going to cheat. Milla, I'm going to do another one. Milla's a baker. She would take a KitchenAid stand thing. So
my main character, I think at the beginning, Shahrazad, I think at the beginning would probably take a gun because she's trying to kill the king, and that would just make it way easier. And then at the end of the book, I think she would, I mean, if you think about it with fantasy books, if they just had freaking cell phones, so many things would be so much easier. And Shahrazad's kind of a diva, so she would probably want an iPhone.
Would it be Bejeweled, do you think? I think for sure, right?
Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that. Gilded in gold, or no kiss. No kiss.
I'm just going to,
I definitely think you cannot watch The Incredibles and still think that capes are a legitimate attire for superhero. I think they look really nice, but it's just not practical.
Edna, darling, don't you know you can have tearaway capes?
We fully know it, and it's so important to talk about these issues.
I watch zombie stuff and read zombie things, so I have some clues on how to survive when the apocalypse does happen.
Why it's so important, like why books themselves are so important is because they like connect, the experiences of all of its readers.
So it's the next day. I actually did not end my vlog because I was so tired. I thought I'd change my venue, like this is my backyard. Also, my bookshelf is kind of a mess. I was trying to like put all of the books that I got from Yallwest, and it was terrible. My bookshelf looks really bad. Anyways, I wanted to do like a reflection of Yallwest and Sunday in general. So I met Tahereh Mafi, and she is like one of the sweetest, most kindest person I have ever met, and meeting her was literally like a dream come true. She has been one of my all-time favorite authors for like 5 years now, and I never thought I would ever get a chance to meet her, and then meeting her and seeing how sweet and how kind and how just like a genuinely like good person she is was just like made my life. I also got The Wrath in the Dawn sign by Renee Ahdieh, and I was really frustrated with how all that went down. So basically I had stood in line for her for like an hour in like a general line, and then I had my dad stand in line for me for Tahereh, and the line for Tahereh started moving, and I got really paranoid that I would have not have been able to meet Tahereh if I had stayed in the Renee line. So I ran to the Tahereh line, and I had somebody save a spot for me in the Renee line. But what happened is that they were second in line, and they ended up getting through the line really fast and not being able to save a spot for me. And it was just really frustrating because after I met Tahereh, I had to run to the Renee line and spend like 30 minutes in line, and it was just really frustrating because I almost missed the panel that we were going to next, which was one with Renee actually, and I almost didn't eat lunch. It's just really frustrating. I know it wasn't that person's fault, and maybe it was kind of my fault because I didn't stay in the Renee line when I should have. On the bright side, the Renee line was not that long, and I'm just so annoying because Renee was so nice. I feel like if the person had asked her like, hey, I'm actually saving a spot in line for someone, do you think like if you see them coming, like make sure like they can just go up and talk to you? But anyways, I still did get to meet her, and she was wonderful. She was so nice. And then I saw her at the panel, which was amazing. I went to a panel which you guys probably saw before with Mercedes Lackey, Renee, Alicia Sussman, and 2 other authors. And that was amazing. Mercedes Lackey is so funny. I love her. And Renee was amazing. She's like slayed so hard at the panel. And next I went to a panel called Hard Truths. I didn't get that much footage from that panel because it was really depressing. And I thought it was funny how David Levithan, who is like one of the most famous YA authors, was moderating and not the actual person on the panel. And like lesser known authors were on the panel. That was interesting. But basically the panel was good, but it was just really sad And I don't know why I expected it to be not sad, considering it was about difficult topics in YA, like mental illness. When we were trying to find the hard truths panel, I actually ran into the Booksplosion crew again, and I just like died. When I met them, I talked to Jessie, and like Jessie won't listen to Hamilton, and I was like, listen to Hamilton already! Oh my god, Jessie, like why? And then when I was at the Hamilton sing-along, Jessie shows up, and he's kind of like smiling and like kind of grooving to it, and I'm just like, you're listening to Hamilton. But I didn't get to talk to him after it because they left before it and I was singing in it. And so I ran into him and I was like, so Jesse, how was your first Hamilton listen? And he was like, what are you talking about? I didn't hear it. And I'm like, I saw you at the sing-along. Don't lie to me. And he was like, oh yeah, I just plugged my ears. Like I didn't hear a thing. And then Christine was like, yeah, he completely ignored everything, like really in an annoyed tone. And I was just like dying inside. Tahereh and Marie did a keynote, and they're seriously one of the most sweetest and kindest people I've ever met. Like, oh, they're just such good people. I love both of them. I really need to read Marie's books already. And I'm not gonna show all the swag that I got because like Milla and I, like before we were waiting for the Tahereh and Marie Lu keynote, we went around all the booths and got like our crap load of swag, and I'm not gonna show all of it. Anyways, I got a lot of really cool stuff at Yallwest and a lot of books and had the most amazing time. While there were times where I was really upset and like really exhausted because I literally slept like 2 hours the entire weekend, it was so worth it, and I'm so happy that I got to go to Yallwest. I know so many people can't go, and I'm just so happy and honored that I got the chance to go, and I can't wait to go again next year. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go check out the other videos I made of Yallwest, which was the Yallwest preview event on Friday and day 1 on Saturday. Au revoir!